Hi guys, I thought I'd show you today how I created these little Christmas tree angels. As you can see, I've knocked out a few of them so far, and I've got a few more to go, so we'll see how this goes. Alright, to do this project you're going to need a reference template. The angle isn't really important. What's important is the sizes. The angel is 2 inches tall. The head is 9/16 inch in diameter. The shoulders are 11/16 inches in diameter. And the entire, I guess you'd say the bottom of the skirt or the robe would be 1 7/8 inches in diameter. So I'll leave that on there for just a second if you want a reference to that. To make these angels, I used sugar pine. It's lightweight. I already had it. I didn't have to go out and buy it. And I cut it to 2 inches square by 8 inches long. That'll fit right in my chuck. And I'll check it to make sure it's centered down here at this end. And it's pretty close. It's a little bit oversized, so I've got about 1/8 of an inch to take off. That needs to be pretty tight because sugar pine's pretty soft. I suppose 2x4 material would well no, that wouldn't work because it's not quite big enough. Well, you'll just have to find out what you're going to use. Make it pretty tight though so it won't come loose. And make it round. To do this project you're going to need 3 calipers. One of them set for 1 7/8 inches. That's for this diameter of the skirt. Another one set for 9/16, which is the diameter of the head. And the shoulders are 11/16. So we'll start out and we'll make this 1 7/8 inches in diameter all the way down. Now we can lay out the marks for the first doll. I'm just trying to get close, and I'll use the calipers to get the exact size. The shoulders are just slightly bigger. And then we can form the size of the shape of the gown. Make just a little tiny cut right here. Clean that up. And then shape the head. Just knock the corners off. Round it off. Finish shaping the shoulders. Got a little piece of sandpaper. I'm using 150 grit. Remember, we're going to paint this, so we don't care if it's really, really smooth. That's about all there is to it. Use your skew to make a little incision right here so the parting tool doesn't tear it up. And part it off. Ta-da! If there's a little nub on there, clean that off. Alright, now we're going to sand the bottoms. Now we'll put a screw in the bottom of each one of them, so we have a way to hold on to them when we paint them. Now we're going to put a little eyelet in the top of each one. There. That not only gives us a way to hang it from the Christmas tree, but it also gives us a way to hang it while the paint's drying. After your angels are painted, you'll need a bandsaw with a fine narrow blade. I used a 1/4 inch blade that's got 10 teeth per inch. You'll also need a sliding miter gauge and a piece of plywood about 3.5 inches wide and around 10 inches long. Drill a hole that's 2.5 inches from the bottom edge and about 1.5 inches from the end, and put a screw in that hole, a screw that's around 1 inch longer than the piece of plywood is thick. And then screw an angel to that piece of plywood with that screw. And clamp the piece of plywood to the miter gauge so that the head just misses that bandsaw blade. Turn the bandsaw on and make a cut so that the bottom of the cut is 1 inch wide. Right there, 1 inch wide. After you make that cut, turn your bandsaw off and clamp a piece of scrap wood to your table to form a stop so that all the rest of your cuts are going to be the same depth. Now that you've got your slot cut, you can fasten your wings on. The wings just drop in that slot. Ta-da! Now to fasten the wings in there, I use a little dab of Gorilla Glue. Doesn't take much. And then just sit that aside to dry for a while. To make the wings, you're going to need some veneer. I used this paperback veneer. It happens to be cherry, but it really doesn't matter because you're going to paint it. Or if you don't have veneer, you can just use cardstock. Whatever you use, you're going to need to cut a circle that's 2 inches across, then cut one side of it flat so that it's an inch from here to here. And at the other side, cut a V in it so that it's about 22.5 degrees across here, which makes a 45-degree angle here. And, you know, you can play around with that a little bit. It doesn't matter that much. But anyway, it should look about like that when you're done. I made a couple of these out of the veneer. And they looked like this. And I thought that was pretty good. And then Sammy reminded me that we had a whole bunch of these capiz shells. It's a type of oyster, but these are used for decorative purposes. And so I made an angel with those capiz shells, and that's awesome. So the rest of them are going to have these capiz shells. You can find these in craft shops, but if you don't want to go that trouble, these cardboard or veneer works very, very well.